Hello, my holy home sisters. It's been a while. I missed you all and I'm happy to be back today. And we're going to be talking a little bit about Shalom Bayis with a twist. I want to go back to the original Gemara that talks about zivugim. This is a Gemara in Sota. And it makes two statements there. It actually makes three, but the middle statement is irrelevant for our discussion. The first statement over there says, in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, that heaven matches a woman to a man only according to his actions. In other words, two people are matched up on no other basis other than their deeds, the choices that they make based on the people that they have made themselves into. If a person made themselves into someone with deep values and convictions, then they will find someone who's similar, someone who shares those same values, those same mindsets. But then we have another statement in the Gemara that says, really, is that so? That a man is matched to a woman according to his actions? Because Rav says that 40 days before the embryo is formed, a divine voice issues forth and proclaims, the daughter of so-and-so is destined to marry so-and-so. So here we have a contradiction because there's one statement in the Gemara that says that you find your zivug based on merit, and there's another statement that says you find your zivug based on predetermination. So which one is it? Is it predestined or is it merit-based? The good thing is the Gemara is aware of that, and the Gemara responds to the contradiction by saying, okay, one second. The statement made by Rav claiming that it is predetermined at the moment of conception, by the way, 40 days before the embryo is formed according to Jewish law, is conception, okay? So his statement means that it is predetermined at the moment of conception, and the Gemara explains over here that that is referring to the first match, what we call the zivug rishon. The other statement, that your zivug is merit-based, that is what we call the zivug sheni. That's the second match. Okay, I feel like that answer complicated the question even further. Because what does that mean now? Everyone has a zivug rishon and everyone has a zivug sheni? Does that mean chas v'shalom in every marriage there has to be a death, a divorce, or maybe it's about polygamy? Like, what does that mean that everyone has a zivug rishon and a zivug sheni? Okay, so you are about to have your mind blown. Here's the thing. The one that we're calling the zivug rishon actually has nothing to do with who you marry at all. The zivug rishon is the match between the body and the soul. At the moment of conception, Hashem takes that soul and he says, I am going to match you up with this body, and together you will be partners for life. So this is the zivug rishon, and that's the one that is predetermined at the moment of conception. Then we have the zivug sheni. That's the one that's based on merit, and that's the one that comes second. And that is the match of the person that you choose to marry. Now here's the thing, your zivug rishon has a huge impact and influence on who you choose to marry, depending on your relationship. And this is what we call Shalom Bayis, the harmony between this match, the harmony between your body and soul. What is the relationship like between your body and soul? This is the original Shalom Bayis, because your first home is your body. Your body and soul are soulmates. And the objective is that they live in peace with each other. Now, in order to bring peace and harmony and Shalom Bayis into the home between our body and soul, we first have to know, what is the soul? Now, we don't have time to go into that in too much detail because this can take another full hour just talking about the soul, what it is, what it isn't. But basically, the soul is invisible. But if we live in harmony with the soul, it's not invisible. It is very obvious. We feel it. And if we live in disharmony with the soul, it's also not invisible. We also feel it, and that could be very, very painful. What does living in harmony with our soul look like? That is when we feel like we belong, when we know who we are, when we know where we're going, when we feel love, when we know what we can create in life and contribute to this world, when we experience internal happiness, when we have a healthy relationship with our body, only then can we experience peace with our souls, and only then can we live in Shalom Bayis. Because the Shalom Bayis that we experience with our Zivug Rishon directly impacts the Shalom Bayis that we experience with our Zivug Sheni. If I don't love me, then how can I expect someone else to love me? If I don't accept myself, then how can I expect someone else to accept me? If I don't like me, how can I expect someone else to like me? And how can I love and appreciate another person if I can't love and appreciate myself? So this is the first place we gotta work. The Shalom Bayis of the Zivug Rishon. That's where the work has to happen in order to achieve Shalom Bayis in the Zivug Sheni. You see, there's no such thing as a happy couple. What? Really? No, really. What we have is two happy individuals who can then become a happy couple. You can't be a happy couple if you're not a happy individual. We can't depend on someone else to love us in order to feel loved. We can't depend on someone else to manufacture our happiness. I need to know how to feel loved on my own in order to be able to accept the love that someone else is offering me. If I can't love myself, and if I don't feel lovable, I could never accept the love that another person is giving me. And if I don't know how to be happy on my own, then there is nothing that anyone can do that's going to make me happy. We need to feel loved by ourselves. We need to feel happy by ourselves. And then we're able to extend that love and that happiness into another person. So there's no one who can make us happy. They can only make us happier. But we have to start off happy. And there is no one who can make us feel loved. We have to feel loved on our own, and then there is somebody who can enhance that love for us. The very first Shalom Bayis has to happen between the body and the soul. It is not our husband's job to make us feel fulfilled. We need to feel fulfilled on our own, and then share that fulfillment and share that purpose and share that meaning with another person. But the only way for us to have that beautiful and special Shalom Bayis with our spouse is when we first have that Shalom Bayis within ourselves. So there's one person you gotta marry before you marry anyone else, and that person is yourself. You have to marry yourself first. You can't be in a healthy relationship with another person if you're not okay with yourself, because your first home is your body. And we all know there's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home.